gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would
shoot. All right, doesn't want to do it.
swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand, that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. Keep believing in the power. Between your heart and mine, it's in your heart. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge. Oh, love, between your heart and mine. It's in your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Open your heart. God of all goodness, we celebrate that which the divine is, love, and that which we are, love. And we know that it does build a bridge between us and any difficulty or difficult situation, difficult person that we may have in our lives. Love is the bridge. We celebrate understanding this month. the ability to know, not question, not say I don't know, but the ability to know, that divine power. And it is not just the head that knows, it is the heart mind that knows. It's a direct knowing of the divine. And it's a knowing that comes as a result of our higher self, our connection with the divine within. So this morning, as we celebrate understanding the ability to know, let us go within. Let us listen carefully and let us know. We are grateful for all of these joined with us this morning. We're grateful for unity of Payson. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Payson, everybody here in person and everybody online. We're really glad that you can be with us on this wonderfully rainy weekend. Gratitude for all the rain. And hopefully no one was caught in any sort of flash flooding. And so if you happen to be new to Unity of Payson and would like additional information about all of the activities that we have going on here, you can go to unityofpayson.org and leave your contact information. And every Monday, Terry is wonderful about sending out the email about everything we have going on. And so let's take a minute this morning and bless ourselves and bless those that have yet to find us. And so together, we love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. And now we have our first opening song, Love is My Decision by Daniel Nahmod.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
Yeah, love is always a choice, just like peace is always a choice. Now we move on to gratitude. And aren't we grateful that we can meet here in person and at the same time for those who maybe are out of state can see us online. And so this past week, like usual, we had lots of activities going on. Of course, Morning Cafe is on every, well, see, now it's Monday through Saturday, 9:30. The Intender Circle, that's on Thursday. Course in Miracles has been a wonderful course in the evening with Reverend Neil. And what's it all about? We had a wonderful interview with Sandy Scott. And so we're grateful for all these activities. And even though technology is still a challenge, we're grateful that we have this so that we can have all these groups and meet with everyone. And we move on to what unity is grounded in affirmative prayer and in meditation. And for those of us present, we are wearing our prayer chaplain stoles. If you need prayer support later, please see one of us afterwards. We hold the prayers sacred and confidential. We pray over them for 30 days, and then Donna sends them on to Silent Unity for another 30 days. We would love to hear from you. And so if you would like individual prayer support, please go to the call the number on the screen, 928-235-7142. Do not have my distance glasses on. And leave your contact information and one of us will get a hold of you. So please, anyone with a heavy heart, don't hesitate. And our theme for this month is understanding. With spiritual understanding, I know everything is unfolding for my highest good. And our speaker today is Dr. Donna Steckal, and her talk is The Bridge of Self-Empathy. Dr. Steckal is a licensed Unity teacher and a licensed psychologist in private practice. She also teaches graduate psychology courses and is a certified trainer for the Center for Nonviolent Communication. It is her passion to embody and speak the truth, to live with integrity, and to help others do the same. And we move on to our metaphysical moment. And so we don't have our chime out. I was going to chime us into meditation. But let's take a moment and take a deep breath. And let go of the busyness that got you here this morning, or anything else that concerns you this morning. And I'm reading from a different book this morning. It's called Spiritual Growth by Sanaya Roman. And I'm going to read an excerpt about connecting with universal mind. Everything around you exists as part of universal mind, God, all that is. The universal mind is unmanifest essence. And if any of you follow Deepak Chopra, He would call that unlimited potentiality, the substance out of which all physical form is created. You are part of this infinite intelligence. This higher intelligence exists in perfection and perfectly creates your thoughts, beliefs, and inner pictures as the world you experience around you. You can learn to tap into this higher mind and draw it to you unlimited health, abundance, new ideas, knowledge, and anything else you want. But how can you best use this connection? Think about what you want rather than what you don't want. For the universal mind creates whatever you think about. Focus steadily on your visions, hopes, dreams, and goals, and intend to have them. Allow your mind to come under the direction of your higher self and have clear, positive, and creative thoughts. And you know, the more that we can connect with this higher aspect of ourselves and then larger into universal mind, we realize that we are part of this divinity and how that allows us to have compassion for ourselves and compassion for everyone else around us. And so allow yourself to hold the highest thoughts instead of the worry about what's going on in the outside world. We know that that's there. We don't have to hold that in our minds. You can teach your mind to hold the higher thought, to hold the light in your body, allowing your light to glow with empathy and compassion. Thank you. And we now will move into a time of meditation. We're going to have the meditation first before Dr. Donna does her talk. And our meditation song is Listen to My Heart Song.
So let's join together for a few moments of meditation. Now let's take a few deep breaths and settle into our chairs as we become still for a while, knowing there is no place we have to be, nothing else we need to do. Let your chair support you and know that the earth supports the chair. Feel your feet. Imagine roots that go deep into the ground beneath you. As we close the outer eyes and open the inner eyes. Close the outer ears and open our inner ears. In this moment, let us pause and call upon our spiritual gift of divine understanding. I allow spiritual understanding to guide my mind and my heart. With spiritual understanding, I see myself, others, and my world with deep and abiding compassion. I allow spiritual understanding to guide my mind and my heart. With spiritual understanding, I see myself, others, and my world with deep and abiding compassion. Let us take these words into a few moments of silence. And as we bring our awareness back to this time and this place, let us do so with a deep understanding that connects us to our source and to one another. And we are grateful for this time together. And we say, it is so. So, the topic of my talk today is the bridge of self-empathy. And this graphic that I've created, it's actually in a book that I wrote on nonviolent communication as a spiritual practice. And so on the bridge, you see the girl holding her heart, but you also see the heart coming into that space. So the heart is all around, it's within and it's without. And I want to talk about this bridge of self-empathy today. Now, you know, our theme for the month is understanding. And Reverend Neil has been talking about spiritual understanding. Do you recall the difference between casting one's net on the left or the right side of the boat from last week? Well, for this talk, I invite you to imagine that the left side of the boat equates to our human understanding, and the right side would be the right use of the power of our spiritual understanding. So I want to talk about the left side first. Our human understanding is often limited to analysis and judgment, ideas of right and wrong, cause and effect, and looking for reasons why things happen as they do. And this part of the brain compares what is happening now to what has happened before and what might happen again. When we operate from this part of the brain, we often are unable to see a bigger picture. Now, don't get me wrong, we need our reasoning skills to problem solve, imagine solutions, and to be creative in our world. But when it's used to judge people for who they are or what they've done, as right or wrong, bad or good, we can get caught up in the blame and shame game, which then leads to the paralysis of analysis. Now, this paralysis can keep us from connection to ourselves, to others, and to our source of all good. And this language of judgment can be catchy. For example, if someone raises their voice at you in front of other people, your pride may be hurt. You tell yourself they were wrong to do that and shouldn't have done it. So that's what is known as jackal thinking, the language of judgment. So when I have my jackal ears on and I'm judging you for what you just did, I tend to feel angry. And that's how I can know that these are on. Jackal vocabulary is fond of words like should and why. Why did they? They shouldn't have. Why didn't they? They should have. Or turned on ourselves. What's wrong with me? Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. So when these jackal ears spin around, now we get angry at ourselves. And that's when we judge ourselves for getting ourselves into the situation to begin with. Now we are wrong and we shouldn't have done whatever we did. So one finger points out and three point back. And this shows we're always harder on ourselves than anyone else. So what happens when you do this? You get this, right? And now you have a war, which is tragic because you have both people involved with one finger out and three back. And you could call this the trigger finger. And if you take this to an extreme, it can get pretty fatal. So the shame and blame game really can hurt us if we get stuck in the paralysis of analysis. And we can even go on a day trip into the Jackal Hall of Mirrors. And the Jackal Hall of Mirrors is where we judge others for judging us, and we judge ourselves for judging others. And you can imagine it just goes on and on. So how do we get out of this dungeon of doubt? Well, before I talk about that, I just want to say that in recovery literature, this can, when the jackal ears are on this way, it can be called a shame spiral. And what happens is we tend to withdraw. Our eyes might go downward. We don't make eye contact. And our head kind of goes down, our shoulders round forward. And then we have all those shoulds and whys going on in our head. That's kind of what this looks like. And from some of my research, it's kind of sad that many of us were not taught as children how to self-regulate this shame spiral. For example, if our parents yelled at us and told us we were bad, And they didn't come and repair that. They didn't try to look us in the eyes and tell us it wasn't us that was bad. It was our behavior that scared them and made them yell. If they don't repair that, then we think it's us and we think we're bad. And so whenever someone does something that reminds us of that, we go back into that reactive shame spiral. And then of course, these flip around and we're mad at the person who made us feel that way to begin with. And so if you really had a real pair of these, they'd be motorized and flipping like this all the time. You know, you're wrong, I'm wrong. You're bad, I'm bad. And we want to get out of that dungeon of doubt. So it takes an inner parent of sorts to remind us that we are okay, that we are still lovable. And so when we recognize that we need that loving repair because we have these on our head, that's the first step. So I'm going to talk about those words later on. So if you want to take the slide share down, you can for now, and then I'll tell you when to come back to that one. Thank you. So when we realize we have these on our head, first things first, we want to take some slow, deep breaths. And this can help us calm our nervous system because when we take slow, deep breaths and long exhales, the nervous system feels safe. It's like the threat is gone. The threat has passed. So we notice we do that when we go into meditation. It helps everybody to calm when we do that. So there's 3 things that we can do when we want to get these off of our head. Name it, claim it, and tame it. So name it. There's judgment going on in my head. Claim it. What ears am I listening with right now? What ears am I listening with right now? And to tame it, we want to give the jackal some empathy. So what if we were able to grab onto some modern technology to help us along? Well, I happen to have some right here, and that's the giraffe ears. Now, the giraffe is the symbol for the language of the heart because giraffes have 26-pound hearts, and they're way up high so they can see a bigger picture. And this is a symbol for the language of nonviolent communication. And when I get these on, I'm stopping, I'm breathing, and I'm asking myself 2 questions. What am I feeling? And what am I needing? And that is known as self-empathy. Now be careful because sometimes feelings can get mixed up with thoughts, and we can, well, I feel that so-and-so did that. Well, as soon as we put that little like, that word like or that after I feel, we're going to get a thought and we're going to be back here again. So for feelings, we want real heart feelings. We want feelings of scared, sad, angry, disappointed, confusion. We want the real inner feeling and allow that to point us to the need. So let us consider using these ears as turning to the right side of the boat, towards spiritual understanding. Because I see needs language as a language of oneness. So nonviolent communication, or NVC, teaches that all human beings have the same needs. And that needs are beautiful, universal, life-serving energy. Let me say that again. All human beings have the same needs, And these needs are beautiful, universal, life-serving energy. Further, all negative judgments are tragic expressions of needs. And further, all anyone is ever saying or doing is in the service of meeting their needs. So back to my example. We can turn from any negative judgment when we have these ears on. When we remember that the judgment is the opposite of the need. The negative judgment is the opposite of the need. So, for example, if I think someone misunderstood me, my need would be for I hope you said understanding, because that is the power of the month. That is the theme for the month. And that's what we're talking about. So if I think someone has misunderstood me, the opposite of misunderstand is understanding. So my need is for understanding. Now, here's where the magic really comes in. Here's where the bridge of self-empathy comes in. It's very likely the other person had that very same need when they said or did what they did. Could the other person who said or did something that upset me, could they have also needed understanding? Yes, yes. When I realize what my need is, then I can understand their need. And look, we both have a need for understanding here. And that puts us on the same team. And now we can move forward, not as enemies, but as fellow travelers toward the same goal of understanding. But I'm getting ahead of myself just a bit. Empathy does not mean agreement. We do not have to agree with the actions people take, but it helps us see a bigger picture of the needs that motivated them to act as they did. Once we understand the needs of others, our hurt magically turns into compassion. And so this is empathy for others. When I have my giraffe ears out and when I have them in, it's self-empathy. So this is self-empathy. And this is empathy for others. But there's another part to the process. It's not just listening, it's speaking our truth. So when I have my ears this way, I not only can hear the other's needs, but I can tell them mine as well. And this is where the negotiation can begin. And I want to say, we don't even have to say anything. If we have these ears on, we could just try to hear their needs silently. It's called silent empathy. And what that does is it changes the dynamic between us. You know, even if we're not in the same place at the same time. When we try to hear the other's needs and we understand they're just like ours, there's a connection that forms magically, a bridge that forms magically. Over distance, over time, I'm telling you, it's amazing. Those of you who do energy work understand what I'm talking about. Energy, compassion, it goes through time and space. And being conscious of our needs leads us to action that's in harmony with those needs. And it's an organic experience. Once you land on the needs, you'll think of ways to get the needs met that are not harmful, that are not hurtful. It's very magical. Once we get to the needs, our thinking brain comes back online, our nervous system calms down, and we move from fight, flight to rest and digest. When we truly understand we both have the same needs, we are now on the same team, just like magic. And so we might suggest a different strategy. We might say, hey, how about we take turns? You listen to me and I'll listen to you, and then maybe we can work on this together. But the point is, we don't ever have to feel rejected. And we don't ever have to take any message personally again. If we understand our own needs, as well as those of the one we think rejected us. And we do not ever have to judge ourselves. But even if we do, we can stop, breathe, and translate that judgment to our life-affirming needs. So this is where that slide would be helpful. I've heard needs defined as life-serving energy, which I've mentioned that. And the gentleman who developed nonviolent communication, psychologist, his name was Dr. Marshall Rosenberg, and he's the one I heard say that needs are life-serving energy. Now, this was back in 1990 when I first learned about this, and I had been introduced to unity in 1985. And I don't know, there's some kind of connection here. Take a look at this slide. Do you see any familiar terms here? So I took this picture from the templates for the 12 power wall that we had put up at our last location, our Easy Street location. And these are 6 of the 12. But every one of these can be considered a life-affirming need as well. So, needs and powers are related. And so I believe that our needs are sacred. And I believe that our needs reside, according to Unity speak, in the realm of divine ideas, that place of pure potentiality. That's where they reside, and we can claim them. So once we know that we need understanding, what do we do with that? Well, what do we do with the 12 powers? We can remember that we have access to the Holy Spirit within in any moment, any time, any place. And we can name the power and claim our truth with an I am affirmation. So I'd like to close with an affirmative prayer from this message for us here today. Will you join me? And so let's close our outer eyes, open our inner eyes. Let's breathe fully, slowly in and lengthy out. Let's do that again. And as we bring our awareness to this present moment, you can put the last slide up, please. Let us affirm, I am divine understanding. I know that all human beings share the same needs. I am divine understanding. I know that self-empathy can be a bridge that will lead me to understanding others. I am divine understanding. I hear with the ears of love, listen with empathy, and speak the truth of my heart. I am divine understanding. And so it is. We are grateful. Thank you, God. Amen. And thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Donna. It's always a great reminder to be gentle and compassionate with ourselves and with everybody else around us. So thank you. And now it is time for our gifts and our offerings. So Unity of Payson is really grateful for everybody that supports this spiritual community. And as we give out to our larger spiritual community. Well, let's see, the slide is not up right now. You can go to unityofpayson.org and go to the donate button if you are online. Here in person, if you can take your tithe in your hand, we are going to call to mind our heart's desire. Give ourselves some of that compassion and that empathy. And think about, what do you want to manifest out into the world? And charge this gift with that. As we say our affirmation, freely we give and freely we receive. And as the ushers come around, we will have our offering song, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, performed by our own Jennifer.
I'll be your bridge or troubled water. I will lay me down when you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all, but I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I'll comfort you, but I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay like a bridge over Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. Oh, see how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. Your mind. Ease your mind.
Oh boy, Jennifer has such a beautiful voice. It's too bad that it breaks there for us. Gorgeous song. Now we want to dedicate. Come closer. Dedicate these offerings. We bless the givers and the gifts. We know that these go out to our larger community. If you can say with me, divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous, and we give thanks. Thanks so much. Especially, I'm grateful for the rain. Whew. Okay, and we continue on next Sunday, and we will have it. We're starting a new month, August, and so we have a new theme, and it is will. I use my power of will to choose, to commit, and to be willing. Sort of what I was speaking about with the metaphysical moment of connecting with higher will. To choose, to commit, and to be willing. Sometimes you have to be willing for good to flow into your life. And our speaker will be our own Reverend Neil Worthington, and his talk title is Not God, ... Not Me. You will have to tune in to find out what that's about. And so I have a few announcements here, but of course we have lots of other activities going on. So please do check your email on Monday for the events. And also you can go to the website and find out the calendar of events. And so Monday through Saturday at 9:30, we have our morning cafe. And we have the last of the 4-part teachings on the Gospel of Thomas. That's Wednesday, July 28th from 6:30 to 8. And that is based on the book Beyond Belief by Elaine Pagels. And it is facilitated by Reverend Greg Carlson. And that is by a suggested love offering. So thank you all who have been attending that. And next on Thursdays at noon, we have the Intenders Circle. And just for the prayer chaplains, a little reminder that our chaplain meeting is at 11, right before the Intenders Circle. So in case we need to, I think some of it originally went out as noon. It is going to be at 11 for the chaplains. And Reverend Neil, you have a PS.
Just a couple of things. If you haven't had an opportunity to sit in on that Gospel of Thomas class, this week will be a bit of a recap for that. And so come ahead, join in. You'll find it's a very rich and helpful process that Greg takes us through, and the information very, very helpful, very mystical, more metaphysical sort of gospel, different than all of the others, not accepted early on, but certainly probably one of the oldest accounts. So please come and join us. That's on Wednesday at 6:30, and that's all online. So one other thing I wanted to do, retired Unity minister sent me a bookmark on understanding. And on that bookmark is a brief poem, and I want to read that as we are approaching the close of our service. And that bookmark you'll find on the, if you're here in person, you'll find on the welcome table, and a love offering jar. If you would like one, take one. If you're able, a little love offering will be appreciated. But here's what it says on this. The poem As I Understand by Jay Woods. When I understand, I stand under. When I stand under, I support. When I support, I lift up. When I lift up, I raise. When I raise, I praise. When I praise, I encourage. When I encourage, I strengthen. When I strengthen, I empower. When I empower, I release. When I release, I let go. When I let go, I let God. When I let God, I understand. So I'm going to suggest that if we're here in person, find somebody to take their hand, not necessarily to join in the circle. And those of you who are with us virtually, envision that we are all together in a circle, connected, doing that by joining hands. And we will sing our peace song as we close the service. So just find somebody, stand if you like, if you're here, but find somebody to hold a hand. Betty, come on up here. I got a hand. No, not. We're going to find some hand to hold. Everybody got a hand? Tom, let's go ahead.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be.
Yeah, we're
with God has created.
So let's go ahead and sing anyway. Evidently the music isn't coming on.
Walk with each other,
peace on earth,
in
and yes,
harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous love. I take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And let's see if we get the sound queued up on this, the prayer for protection.
Stop it. Enough. Okay, enough.
The light of God surrounds
I'm going
us.
with it anyway.
I am light.
The light of
Love
God
of God
surrounds
enfolds
us.
us. I am love.
Love.
The power of God protects us. I am power.
And the
The
presence
presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
well. Take an opportunity to greet each other, to find somebody to give a gratitude to be grateful for them, or to be grateful for something, some blessing in your life. We're so glad you were here with us this morning.